Tommy Rex, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now, here's your host. The Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival returns May 14th through 17th with My Chemical Romance, Tool, Bring Me the Horizon, and Shinedown. Plus, Pierce the Veil, Good Charlotte, The Offspring, Sublime, Godsmack, Breaking Benjamin, Marilyn Manson, and so many more. Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio, May 14th to 17th. Passes on sale now for as low as $1 down at SonicTempleFestival.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle, and I seem to happen upon a horror scene here right now. Talking with Jonny Suicide and Veritas. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, bud?
What's up, man?
Not much, man. You know, just we were talking some toys before you came on, and we'll get back into that, man. But I'm definitely digging it. Big fan, big fan.
Johnny's the toy king.
But usually when I have people on for the first time, I like to go like way back. So going back to the youth, the days of toys and everything, even though a lot of us don't like to grow out of that, myself included. But do you remember originally what you wanted to be when you grew up? And we'll start with Jonny.
Oh, geez. Well, I guess I'm living my dream. I wanted to be a musician. You know, when I was growing up, I was very much into like Alice Cooper and Kiss, the theatrical side of music, and then later on with down the road with bands such as like Marilyn Manson, Wednesday 13, Murder Dolls. I just love that whole aspect, and so I played in several bands before this one, but it was just t-shirt, jeans. But I always wanted I would always do a little eyeliner just for shits and giggles. But, I even when I was in school, I had friends of mine that I was in school with that will contact me and they're like, dude, you always said back in like 5th grade, you were going to be in a band. You did it, man. You did it. I'm like, yeah, I did.
Nice. And what about you, Veritas?
Oh my God, what didn't I want to be when I was growing up? I don't think I ever really had like a set thing in stone. The music thing didn't really become an idea for me until probably middle school going into high school. But yeah, I think I wanted to be a truck driver, which ironically I am an owner operator. So I guess that kind of worked out. I don't know.
Nice. And then, Jonny already kind of shared, like how when he started getting into music, but like, what about you, Veritas? When did the music bug bite you? What were some of your earliest influences?
Oh man, it all started like as a kid because growing up listening to what your parents listened to, so like Billy Joel or Stevie Wonder, Prince, artists like that. Like I've always dug those artists, and then the older I got, I started delving into different styles of music. So like I was into rap and R&B for a while, and then rock music, and then once I got to metal, the stage of metal, like that was the end all be all for me. I was like, this is the most aggressive, like fantastical thing I've ever heard, especially when like the double kick comes in, and then like they have guitar riffs where the guitarists are like triple picking and all that other stuff. Like, yeah, so that was probably mid to late 90s when I got into like really dived into metal. I think the first metal band I really liked, of course, Metallica, but Pantera was a big influence for me, especially as a drummer.
Nice. And then when did you get into drums then? When did you start playing drums?
Yeah. So my journey through music has been interesting. So I think it was in kindergarten. No, sorry, first grade. First grade, I started out on violin. That didn't last too long. Once I got to middle school is when you get to pick like a brass instrument or something like that. Ironically enough, back then I wanted to play drums, but our music teacher at the time was like, we have too many drummers. Why don't you try trombone? And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So I did trombone for a number of years, and it wasn't until high school where I was like, you know what, drums is what I want to do. So I switched to drums in high school, and I haven't looked back since.
Nice. And Jonny, you were saying fifth grade kind of was the time frame where you started playing?
No, actually, I didn't start playing until, oh man, I was like probably 9th or 10th grade. I'm trying to think. I was like 16 when I got my first 6-string guitar, which was a white Gibson SG, and I got it and I started playing it, but it just wasn't, I didn't really have anybody to go to for lessons or anything. And I took it back to the guy and I'm like, look, I need something else. And he had a Fender Jazz bass guitar, which I actually still have. It's Fender Jazz short neck hanging up. And he's like, look, tell you what, I'll give you that in exchange, plus I'll throw in a bass amp and a cord. And of course, the cord was the old school, like telephone coil cord and stuff, you know. And so I got that, and it wasn't long after that I met some guys in a neighboring town, and one guy, he was a guitar player, and he just started showing me different things. He's like, okay, look, if you want to play along with me, he goes, whenever I'm playing a chord, wherever you see this finger, that's the root note. That's what you want to play on bass. So that's kind of how I started out. And it was probably like 2 months later, I started playing in a band with his brother and a couple other people. And I just kind of like jumped right into it with both feet. You know, there was no, like, I never really took any kind of lessons. But by the time I was 17, I was avidly working on the road with a band as their stage tech. And I wasn't making any money, but I was learning. And I mean, I would watch their bass player. And finally, I sat down with Darren one day. I'm like, look, you do all these amazing runs. Can you just give me some pointers? And he's like, you know, connect the dots. You know, when you're going to do a run, you know, you have your root note here, and then you have your octave note here, kind of like run through them. And he started showing me little things, and it just kind of went from there. And, you know, like whenever I first started playing, I wasn't even playing metal. I was playing punk. We were doing like Ramones, Sex Pistols, Descendants, Black Flag, stuff like that, you know, because for me, it's like that was in like 87, I believe. And it was like, that was just raw and aggressive. You know, I mean, I was listening to some of the thrash metal and stuff, but it was also the era of when hair metal was starting to pick up. So it was like, I mean, I had long hair back then. Hard to believe now, but I did. I had long hair and clean shaven and stuff. But I loved the punk feel. And I kept doing that pretty much through the 90s and very early 2000s. And then this project started coming together. Our singer, him and I had played in a punk band together, and he called me up one day. Hey, these guys were putting something together. We need a bass player. So I came in. I really dug where they were going with it, the way he was looking at things, because it was like, it was heavy, but it also had this little bit of like a techno and industrial vibe to it. And I liked that because I really did enjoy bands like Rammstein, Ministry. So it was like kind of like, I like where this is going, and I haven't looked back. I'm still going.
when did the horror scene come together?
I was like, well, I mean, what iteration, I guess.
Yeah. When we started, we were Suicide Puppets, and that would have been about 2006. Mm-hmm. Those were the early days and stuff. Now, as far as horror scene, that's the transition, and that's only a few months now. So
Gotcha. Now, like what? Now, you guys all grew up in the same area, or like how'd you all get together?
No, I'm originally from the
I
Philadelphia area.
yeah, and I'm up outside of Harrisburg, about half an hour out from Harrisburg. But our singer, he grew up or lived in the town about, I don't know, 5 miles from me right now. And I used to hang out in this town, Newport. He hung out there. And later on, back in the mid 90s, an old friend of mine, the first band I was in, doing the punk stuff and stuff, he was putting together a new band, and him and Twisty showed up at a gig where I was doing production, and they're like, hey, we're another one of these things, putting a band together, we need a bass player. Oh, okay. So that's how I had known of Twisty, but I didn't really know him, just, in past seeing him and stuff like that. I didn't even know he played guitar until that. And then we started doing that, and then everybody else, like, I met afterwards, after we had already started this, because Veritas came in because we needed a drummer, and we saw an ad, and we brought him in, and then Steven came along, and then our former keyboard player, which he was originally from the Pittsburgh area. Steven was from Enola, New Cumberland, Harrisburg area. So everybody, and even now, like our guitarist Z, he's York, Pennsylvania. And then Invictus, he's around Camp Hill, Mechanicsburg area. So we're all like, but we actually hail from Harrisburg because we do practice right outside of Harrisburg and stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, everybody's everywhere.
So
We're relatively close.
yeah, you mentioned the Suicide Puppets. Like, when did that? So that was the first. That was what became Horror Scene.
Yes.
Who were both of you a part of that then when Suicide Puppets started?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then I'm curious because I love that name. Like, who came up with that name?
Well, so when the band first started, I guess initially it was I think it was Twisty and a couple other guys.
Myself, yeah.
Were you part of that, John?
Yeah. When we were Fine Art of Hate.
Oh, okay, that's right. So that goes back even further. So Suicide Puppets was originally called Fine Art of Hate. But then they wound up changing the name to Suicide Puppets. I think it was like, if I remember the story correctly, it was done through like one of those band name generators, and it just brought up a list of names, and they saw Suicide Puppets and they thought it was cool, and they just kind of took it. So the actual original members of that band, I guess the only two remaining are now Jonny and Twisty. And then Suicide Puppets became what it was probably after I joined and then Steven joined, because we were a three-piece for a year, maybe?
All but, yeah.
Nice.
So up until a few months ago, we were called Suicide Puppets, and it is a cool name, but there was a need for the change. Not that we wanted to do it; it was more like we were forced to do it because algorithms were smashing us down to the bottom because of the word suicide in the band name. Google wouldn't even let us advertise anymore. So like it just became a hindrance, and it's like, yeah, it sucks. It's a super cool name, but we got to do something. So we had a big powwow with our producer.
So far, Horror Scene's flying under the radar, right?
Yeah. But
Nice.
It still fits our aesthetic of how what we are as a band. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it basically was birthed out of necessity more than anything else.
And then I want to ask, like, obviously I've watched a few of the videos, big fans of the horror genre as well. Like, what was some of the influences for you guys becoming Horror Scene?
I think some of it has to do with like 7 or 8 horror films now have our music in it. I think that's like part of it. That was part of the equation,
Oh, nice. So do you guys go around and do any of those like horror conventions and stuff like that too?
Yes, Section 90 back. We do.
We've done a few.
We've done a
Have you guys been out to Cinema Wasteland?
No, we've only done 2 so far because that's a new avenue for us. So far, we've done Monster Mania out in Philadelphia, and then we did New Jersey HorrorCon out in Atlantic City. That one was cool because we got to play that one with another band that we actually started doing a bunch of shows with, a band called American Grim. They're really cool. You should check them out. Yeah, so that's and ironically enough, when you bring up the horror convention stuff, we actually just signed with an entertainment company, Black Veil Entertainment. That's all they do is book for horror conventions. So they're going to start booking us for a lot more horror conventions with more of like a performance type of a situation. I mean, we'll still have our own booth and whatnot. But
Nice. I figured you guys, all being from the Pennsylvania area, you guys hit like the Monroeville Mall and the Night of Living Dead or whatever.
Yeah, exactly where we're going with that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Monroeville is probably about 3 hours from us because that's over by Pittsburgh. But yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, we've been trying to get a booth. We've been trying to get a booth at the Comic-Con that they have out there for
Steel City.
It's hard to get in there, man. But
yeah, we go out. Usually, me and my kids will go out to that one. Because they always pull in some great actors. I met John Carpenter there and stuff.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
But you guys should look into Cinema Wasteland. It's one that they have out here in Cleveland, and I think like they just started doing Nightmare weekend in Cleveland too. So that'd be one. I think you guys would be a good fit on.
Heck yeah, man! No, I appreciate that information.
Astronomicon out in Michigan near Detroit. It's the guys from Twisted put it on.
Oh,
that'd be another one as well. Man, I'm a big fan of all those. I bounce around at all those, so that's why I was definitely looking forward to this conversation. So like as you guys have evolved into horror scene, and you said you've been building a name there for a while, and now you got an agent or somebody that's kind of looking into the conventions for you guys, but also doing any like touring.
I think we're trying to set something up for this summer. That's kind of where we're at right now with that. We do have a booking agent, and we do have a management team. So they're kind of all doing all that stuff. We'll let them handle that. But yeah, hopefully sometime this summer. I think we had discussed, John. I think sometime in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go on the road right now, man. It's freaking freezing out there.
No, I was actually in Ohio.
I'm in
today,
Cleveland.
It was like -5. Yeah. I was out in Twinsburg today, and it was like -5 degrees out there.
Yeah, not fun at all, man. Well, getting back to kind of like the videos that I was checking out with the horror theme, I really enjoyed Piggy. Like who's responsible for that? Who wrote that one?
Are you talking about the video or the song?
The song, and then who did you guys get to kind of direct that video?
I did. I think Piggy started out with what? Did Twisty come up with the guitar riff? Is that how it went, John?
Yeah. That's
so yeah, I just started with the guitar riff from Twisty, and of course it blossomed into what it turned into, as you see in the music video. And it's cool though, because like the writing process that we have is it's pretty easy and simple, I think. Somebody will come with a guitar riff, and Jonny will lay down a bass track, and I'll throw my drums to it, and then we'll add some other rhythm and lead parts to it, and then sometimes we'll pull stuff out and use it for other songs and whatnot. But the video was done by Joshua West from J-Ball Productions. He'd been wanting to do a music video for us for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we had been using somebody else at the time. But we ran into a bit of a situation when it came to Piggy, because the video producer we were using, I think he was moving or he just wasn't available at the time. And Piggy was like set to release in like a couple of weeks. And we're like, we need a music video stat. So I reached out to Joshua West with J-Ball Productions, and I sent him the song, and I told him what the theme of the song was, what the idea behind it. So he's like, all right, well, where are you guys going to film this at? So we wound up filming it at Twisty's land. He's got like, 4 billion acres out in the middle of Dolphin, PA.
Up on a mountain.
Yeah, he's on a mountain. So that's where we filmed it.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, Josh came out. He looked at the site. He's like, I got some great ideas, yada, yada, yada. We didn't even get storyboards. He's like, just be here at this date, and we're going to start filming at this time. I'm like, okay. And then, the video turned out great.
Yeah. Obviously, use some drone footage and stuff in there as well.
Yeah, and one of the murderers, I guess you would call them serial killers, whatever we decided to name them in the movie. One's a good friend of ours, Bill, and the female's actually my wife.
Okay, nice. So yeah, you're on your best behavior around her then, huh? You can see what she's capable of.
It's all fun and games till somebody slits your throat, right?
Now, was she the same one that was in what was it? Welcome to Your Hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was her as well. All right. She seems to have I don't know, red flags, man. I don't know. My
She's
friend.
meant to murder, I guess. I don't know. Although, ironically enough, like she does some acting in some films. The first film she did was called Blood on the Bleachers, and she gets murdered in that. So I guess it evens out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I caught that video as well, and I like the whole the mark, to get into the club, and the whole theme with that. Where was that filmed at?
That was actually filmed not too far from me in Liverpool, Pennsylvania. A friend of ours, it was an old sewing factory. He bought it up. It's actually called The Factory, and it's set up for bands to play there. He has you can do different events, whether you're doing a bachelor party, a birthday party, a Christmas party, whatever. And Brent gave us permission to go in there, and Josh came out, and we had to do. Stage was already there, everything was already black, and he left us to just go at it. It's a great facility. In fact, the first gig we ever had, now this is going back to Fine Art of Hate, before Suicide Puppets was there. And it was shortly after their grand opening. And so we did our first show there, and we've done shows there for, years. Mm-hmm. They used to do the Factory Fest there. We'd play that whenever we had a local venue burnt down, and we did a benefit for that venue. We did one there. It's an awesome venue, and it's cool because when you watch the video, it looks nothing like that. The power, the magic of camera angles and plastic sheeting, black sheeting and stuff. It's
Nice.
just
Nice.
Yeah, that video was also produced by Joshua West, so he did that one in Piggy.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was, Piggy, man, I was definitely, I really enjoyed that one, and man, good on Twisty to have all those acres, man. It's you guys know where to go when the shit hits the fan. I guess everybody gets.
No, I'm the same way. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I can't even see my neighbors. I love it. I don't have as much acreage as Twisty, but I've got a good 17, 18 acres, primarily wooded. So
nice. That's the goal, man. It's the dream. That's where I'm at. The older I get, the less I want to be around people. And then let's talk about your guys' latest single, Yeah You. Tell us a little bit about the message behind that song.
That song, we've actually pushed that song off 3 times, John? 2 or 3 times?
that was originally supposed to be recorded back in 2024 for Where Killers Go to Die EP, and it got bumped. And then when we first started recording with Dan Malsch, working with him, that was going to be the first one, and it got bumped, and then finally it came into fruition. It was just one of those songs, but it was, I think it was actually meant to keep getting put aside. Here, we're going to put you on the back burner. You're going to simmer. We'll bring you to boil a little bit later, and that's what happened. But
now it's right. Now it's right. It's ready to go, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The time was right to release. Yeah, you actually the original working time. Is language okay on this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. So the original working title of this song was called "Fuck You," and we have a radio promoter that we use. And he said, "Listen, man," he goes, "if you keep that song called 'Fuck You,' nobody's gonna play it." So we had to rename it. And coming up with a name that, first, I think not originally, one of the names we had was just You. And it's like, well, yeah, You sounds a little bit better coming off the tongue. But yeah, I mean, the radio promoter that we use is great. He actually got Welcome to Your Hell to reach number 16 on the top 50 metal contraband metal charts, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I think, Yeah, You is more just like to like everything that's happening.
Nice. Well, it's perfect timing, And then like you mentioned working with Dan Malsch. How was that? How'd that relationship come together?
Balls. So a good friend of ours, Josh Balz, who used to be the keyboard player in Motionless in White.
I know Josh.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's a good friend of ours. He's like a consultant, if you could say that. He gives us guidance most of the time, and he wanted to make our sound better. And actually, what was it? It was Beyond the Veil. We actually recorded in Josh's studio that he had in Scranton, or it was Wilkes-Barre. It's the same area to me. We actually recorded that there, and he was going to move his studio to his venue that he has called the Ritz, but I guess something fell through. I think he was waiting for like grants or something to come through to do that, but it just never came to fruition. So he's like, "Hey, how would you guys be opposed to using Dan Malsch?" And I was like, "No, but I don't know if we can afford him because of who he is." He's huge in the metal and rock industry. Like, he's produced Ghost, he's produced Avenged Sevenfold, Gojira, small little metal bands like that. But no, it was that's how we got that connection, was from Josh Balz. So we started going to his studio. What was it, last year? And he's just up in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. So he's up in the Pocono Mountains. So yeah, it's all like, it's basically who you know, and like, where they can guide you to go to make your sound better. And when he did Welcome to Your Hell actually sounded completely different than what it is. I actually don't even think the song was called Welcome to Your Hell to begin with. I don't even remember what it was called.
Oh man,
Twisty would know.
I know. It's right on the tip of my tongue too, and I can't think of what it is. But thing with Dan though, also for Where Killers Go to Die, we went up to Massachusetts to record that. But then, and the final mix and master was done by Dan Malsch then. So that kind of opened up the door, and I think that's how Dan got to hear what we were doing, and that's when he kind of was like, let's do a song, let's do something, Nice. And then it kind of like fruition from there. Next, came Yeah You, and then we still have something else down the pike, so.
And we're actually
scheduled for March?
Yeah,
be back up with Dan.
Yeah, end of March we're recording another one. I don't know which song we're doing yet, but we're going to be doing something.
I know. We keep flip-flopping because we got like 8 songs. It's like Twisty just keeps pumping them out, and it's like, oh, okay. And a couple of them are like some songs that we're revisiting from early on that, aren't really available to stream or anything, especially, so. Because you got to look at it, because Dan actually put it this way too. It's like, just because a certain amount of people have heard these songs, okay, let's say like 20,000 people have heard these songs, you still have the rest of the world, you know, or your hometown is heard, or, you know, your local area, they've heard you play these songs and stuff. Doesn't mean anything because it's new to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got new stuff, and then we're revisiting a couple things that haven't been touched in, oh man,
years.
Oh man, I don't even want to say it. Dates of 16 years, something like that, of our very first Absolute Sinner album, you know, which was like what, 2010,
something like that.
Yeah.
You can somebody's actually selling that album on eBay as we speak right now.
I know. I'm watching it. I'm waiting. This guy in Lancaster, PA. I'm waiting for him to drop the price. You know, I don't want to throw the. Yeah, I'm the bass player for that band. You know, you want to. I mean, I have a copy and stuff of it. I even have the original copy before we had it mass produced with the original with the etching on the CD instead of the actual print. You know. Oh, actually, no, I don't. I don't have it anymore. I gave it to a friend. It's in Germany right now. I gave it to Karina. The Cannibal Queen. Yeah, I gave it to her when she was over to visit and stuff. Well,
so yeah, folks, if you want our first album,
Germany.
Yeah, right. And if you want our first album ever, it's available on eBay.
Well, hopefully Josh watches this, man, because that guy owes me an interview, man. We talked a couple times at Incarceration, and I asked him to be on. He said he would, but you know, it's hard to nail down. Busy with
he's a busy dude.
But well then, I mean, you said you got the plans then, you know, to get back in the studio and at the end of March, and you know, looking at some of those conventions. But what else is on the pike for you guys at the end, like in the summertime?
Like I said, just waiting to hear back from our booking agent about, you know, the tour that we're probably going to be doing sometime in the summer. There's a couple festivals that we're still waiting to hear back on. I think that's just about it right now for the summertime.
Well,
I mean,
we do have the Inked and Amp Festival in beginning of May, which is in York, Pennsylvania at the York Fairgrounds. It's like a 3-day event. We're there on Saturday, which is like the Friday is like a shorter, you know, it's not all day, but then Saturday is like an all day event. And then Sunday, we'll be doing the Saturday with our friends like in Defiant and stuff. And then Sunday they reserve, which is shorter day. They have all female fronted bands and stuff play, like Ruiness and stuff like that. So yeah, we definitely have that one locked in, which we have announced that one already since the lineup's been confirmed.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too, like for any fans out there listening to this who might be new and want to check out the horror scene, like where and see where you guys are going to be playing, where would you send them?
You can go to horrorsceneband.com. You can go to our Facebook, which is Horror Scene Band. Instagram, which is also Horror Scene Band. TikTok, which is at Horror Scene Band. Actually, you can even go to our Spotify, which is Horror Scene. And because on Spotify, it has a list of events. You can click on events, and all of our upcoming shows should be on there.
Oh, nice. And yeah, we were talking earlier too about some of the influences, like you know, with the theatrical, you know, like Marilyn Manson and Kiss and all that. But like for your guys' like when you were did you have like Jonny, when you came up with like your look, was that like strictly yours, or did somebody like tell you, oh, you should wear this, or you know, or the same with you?
No, that was all me. I started with just doing the white and stuff, and then I started noticing how like my natural like skull features were and stuff, and under light, and I started noticing things. So I started, you know, I created everything, and then one day Twisty said to me, he goes, you know, it would be cool if you had a bullet hole right here. And I'm like, oh yeah. He goes, and then we could do an exit wound back here. So for a couple shows, I did an exit wound, but that was a pain in the ass to have a mirror here and there and try to, you know, get it. So I just ended up just going with the single bullet hole, which I ended up changing that up now since we became Horror Scene. I actually do our symbol with the blood coming down. That way, that was my transition from a puppet to a horror scene. So, but no, I did and I experimented, like mixing greens with the black and stuff like that. And I don't know how many times, even when we did Monster Mania, I had people coming up to me and they were like, do you airbrush that? People ask me if I use like a template to get the circle, and it's like, no, I do it. And especially like when you're on tour, like when you're out with Soulfly, when you do it every single night, sometimes you're actually doing your makeup in a side view mirror on your tour band and stuff. It's like you figure it out right away. You know, it's like boom, 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 there it is. I probably take the longest, but it feels like the longest bit maybe takes me like 15 minutes or something like that to do mine, you know, and everybody else is like doing theirs and stuff, and it's like, oh shit, I still got to do this. Crap, I still got to do that.
Nice. Well, before we get ready to wrap up, I want to ask you, because you know, I got some questions I like to ask my guests, and we talked about it before we went on. Favorite toy as a child?
Well, I did. My favorite toy as a child, I was able to play with, but I didn't own. But thanks to my wonderful bandmates, I own it now. It was my holy grail. These guys surprised. Give me 1 second. It's right here.
You have no idea how hard that was to keep a secret too, man.
Nice.
And he's came with the original box. And he still has his
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, this was my, when I was a kid, I had like one of the Shogun Warriors, but I never got the Godzilla. And being a Godzilla fan, I mean, I would always look and say, God, so much money to drop on one of them. And then these guys, I show up for my birthday at band rehearsal, and there's this present sitting on top of my bass rig. I'm like, what the hell? As soon as I cracked it open, I'm like, oh my God. I'm not kidding you. I had tears in my eyes. I did. I seriously did. But yeah, this was my holy grail. I don't know what my new holy grail would be. Yeah, but yeah, this is, and he's complete. That's what I love about it. It's like kudos to Veritas and Twisty and Steven, and of course Amy for doing the legwork and stuff. And I found out later, like, Dan, you can go ahead and tell this about how I was looking at them and you already knew about it. And
yeah, we were coming back from a gig. We actually played up at the Ritz in Scranton, PA, Josh's venue. We're on our way back, and Johnny's just thumbing through Instagram. And I guess it just happened to show up on his phone because, you know, your phone's always listening to you. And Johnny's sitting there in the passenger seat, and I'm driving. He's all like, oh, the Holy Grail. You will soon be mine one day. Meanwhile, I'm like laughing my ass off in the driver's seat because I've already had this thing for like months. I'm like, little do you know.
Nice. Well, they really love you, Johnny. That's good, man.
I know.
And then what about yours, Veritas?
Oh man, favorite toy. And I still collect them to this day. It's Hess trucks. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not.
The what trucks?
Hess, the gas station Hess. I don't know if they were out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they would do the Hess truck every year, and unfortunately, the gas station, I don't think is around anymore, but they still do one every year. So that's probably my favorite toy. I have every one from the year I was born until now.
Oh, nice.
every year around Christmas, they take my boyfriend's back and say, Hess truck's back. And but now they have spaceships and
Oh yeah.
Nice. And then, any message you guys have for our military members currently serving overseas?
Oh man. Myself and Steven Suicide are both veterans, so just keep your heads up, keep trucking. You know, embrace the suck is the best thing I can tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Stay safe.
I'm retired Navy myself, so yeah.
Oh, dang it! Thanks for your service,
The
man.
language.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's why I do this. I asked that question as well because I remember on my last deployment back in 2008. Some days you just come back from work, you don't really even want to talk to the guys, you just want to like veg out. And I put on headphones, and my friends used to do a podcast from Cleveland. They tell stories about the wild shit we used to do. So it'd be like I'd be back home. I'd just sit there with the headphones and listen to their podcast and stuff. And so I always want to give a shout out to anybody over there that's trying to just get out of their head, and enjoy this podcast. But
Hell yeah.
awesome. Well, hey guys, it was great talking with you, man.
You too, dude.
Hopefully, we're not too far apart, so hopefully I'll be able to catch you at a convention or a show or something.
We were just in Ohio not too long ago.
Yeah.
What area?
Oh god, what was the name of that town? Oh my goodness.
Newark,
Ohio.
The hub. We played the hub in Newark.
I don't even know where Newark's at. Is that like southern or?
It's like I want to say 2 hours from Pittsburgh, but off of not 80, but the south part. Shoot, I can't remember what highway it is off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's more closer.
Because I know I'm like 2 hours from Pittsburgh up in Cleveland, but
yeah,
that must be the other direction or down, more south.
Yeah, it's further south.
Yeah, I think it is more south.
All right. Well, cool, man. Hopefully I'll get to catch you guys the next time. But
dude,
hell yeah,
we'll
man.
let you know when we're in Ohio again.
Yeah, man. Well, great having you guys on, man. You guys have a good night. Stay warm.
You do the same.
You too,
Thanks so
brother.
much for
Thank
having
you.
us.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, see ya.
Listen up! Hold on to your seats. Grab your girls, grab your beers.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Anthrax, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now here's your host.
I am Monty Heath, so Warren Heath, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
Hey, what's up? It's John from Skillet, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle on Domain Cleveland Radio.
Fasten your seatbelts.